Hi everyone. Today I am going to give you guys a tutorial on MyFitnessPal. I'm going to show you how to set up your MyFitnessPal app. This is the app we are going to use to log our food and track our macronutrients. So you can find this app on your phone. If you go to the App Store, you can find it there, or you can find it on your desktop by simply searching www.myfitnesspal.com. I want you guys to spend a little time this week getting familiarized with the app, and I want you to start practicing logging your food. So with macro tracking, you are going to become much more aware of the foods that you are eating and how to properly fuel your body. So this is a very important step. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to set up your app, how to set up your goals within the app, and step-by-step instructions on how to log food, how to import recipes from the internet, and a lot of other helpful tips. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how to download the app. Okay, so first of all, you will just go into your app store and we're going to search MyFitnessPal. And I've already downloaded it, so I'm just going to open that up. And this will bring you to MyFitnessPal. I have the regular version, the free version of the app, and that works perfectly fine. You can choose to pay for the premium version to get a few additional options in the app, but the free version works just as well. So you can, again, do this on your phone. That's what I'm showing you here, or you can do it on a desktop just by visiting the myfitnesspal.com website. So we are in the MyFitnessPal app currently, and we're going to set up our goals. So when you initially download the app, it will prompt you to answer some questions and go through setting up your goals. Since I already have the app downloaded, I will show you where to get to your goals in case you ever need to see them or change them. It's going to ask you to add your height and weight in the settings. Adding your weight is just a baseline to set up your macronutrient goals, as we do not use the scale as a measure of our progress in the faster way, so just keep that in mind. So when you are looking for your goals in the app, you're going to hit the three buttons that say More down at the right-hand corner of the screen, and then you are going to simply click on Goals. This is where you will enter your current weight, your goal weight, and what we need to look at is our weekly goals and our activity level. So first of all, let's talk about your weekly goals. This is how much weight we are wanting to lose per week. So this is just a baseline. We are going to set this up to either lose a half a pound or a pound per week. If you have 5 to 15 pounds of weight to lose, if you are fairly fit already, you should set your goals to lose a half a pound per week. It's almost always better to err on the side of less weight per loss per week, as too drastic of a calorie deficit can be detrimental to your hormones and your metabolism. So we will set that to a half a pound per week. If you have more body fat to lose, if you have 20 plus pounds to lose, just as a rough guesstimate, you can set your goal to 1 pound per week. So that's going to be how you set up your pounds per week. So, depending on your experience with dieting and restrictive meal plans, this goal is going to give you a calorie goal and some macro goals to go by, and that might seem a little much. It might feel like you're not able to consume that much food that we are actually going to allow you to eat. So I'm going to encourage you to focus on eating until you're 80% full and just working towards these goals, and just trust the process, and you're going to find a lot of freedom in knowing that you can eat more and still lose weight. So if you have more than 70 pounds to lose, then we can set your goal to 1.5 or 2 pounds per week. There's a couple of other different scenarios that you need to be aware of. If you are looking to gain weight, you can set your goals to 1 pound per week. If you are looking to maintain weight while increasing your lean muscle gain and fat, and then still losing fat, we can set your goals to maintain. So that is what mine is typically on, is maintain. So I'm going to switch that back here. And then lastly, if you are training for a marathon, you can set your goal to maintain, or if you are pregnant, you can also set your goal to maintain or even 1 pound per week. So then we're going to adjust the activity level. A couple things to consider when we are talking about your activity level is if you have been working out currently before starting the Faster Way, and if you plan to continue to do the Faster Way to Fat Loss workouts throughout this program, I want you to select active. If you have not been working out prior to starting this program, or if you are focusing solely on the nutritional strategies and do not plan to add in the additional, the exercise component of the program, we're going to select lightly active. So for me, I'm selecting active. So those are the goals that you need to set. Now we are going to move on to our macronutrient goals, which is our carbs, fats, and proteins. So we will look at our goals here by clicking on where it says nutrition goals, and then under that it says calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals. Click on that. That's going to give you your total calorie goal and then your percentages of carbs, fats, and proteins. We want to make a small adjustment here. So we're going to adjust our protein to 25% and adjust our carbs to 45%. So now those goals are set up. Now, if you had the premium version of the app, you can do some additional adjusting whenever we get into carb cycling and we are doing a couple low carb days. You could actually go in and set goals based on the day of the week, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so we're going to go out of goals here. Now, one thing I want to remind you is that we are not a calories in, calories out program, so I do not want you logging your exercise. If you have any devices connected to your MyFitnessPal app, you can disconnect them here. And then if you will see the steps here, you want to make sure that it says don't track steps so that it's not logging your exercise or your movement. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to start logging your food. So we're going to go down to the bottom here on the left-hand side where it says diary. This is going to be where you log your food each day. So I'm going to start with my lunch for the day. You're going to select add food, and I'm just going to choose some very simple meals here. So you can use the search engine here. I'm searching for a chicken breast, so I'm going to select boneless, skinless chicken breast from Kroger, which is a 4-ounce piece of chicken, and make sure you look for the ones that have the green check mark behind them. So we're going to select this one. I see that the serving size is 4 ounces, which is what I'm aiming to eat today. I'm going to select the check mark up at the top, and that's going to add in my chicken breast. You can also use the barcode if you have a product at home, a food product, you can use the barcode. You can simply scan the food. I'm just going to pretend like my pencil has a barcode on it, and that will enter in that item right into your food diary. So I'm going to continue to add in a couple more things for the day. So I'm going to eat some broccoli with that chicken. So I'm just going to simply select broccoli. I'm going to use 1 cup chopped. Select that. And then I'm going to have a sweet potato. So I'm going to select this one. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter, which is a grass-fed butter, to my broccoli and my sweet potato. So I'm going to add that in there. So I've entered in my lunch. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to have an apple for a snack. My favorite are the Honeycrisp, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that up there. And then with that, I'm going to have a couple of tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons there. And then for dinner, I'm going to have brown rice. So as you can see, it's pulling up my history here. So the more you use the app, the easier it's going to get, because it's going to pull up your the foods that you have eaten in the past. So it's going to save that. So I'm going to select Trader Joe's brown rice because that's the one I usually use. A cup of that. I'm going to add in another chicken breast just to keep things simple here for you. And then I guess I'll have some asparagus with that. So I'm going to select the Kroger asparagus, and then again, I will probably use a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter. I like to use ghee. I like to use olive oil, but we'll just do this for now. Okay, so I have logged in several food items for the day. You've seen how I entered those in. Use the barcode whenever it's an option. So once you have logged in all of your food for the day, you're going to scroll down to the very bottom of your food diary, and you're going to hit nutrition. So this is going to show you, your macros pie chart is going to show you the percentage of the total food that you have had for the day, what percentage has come from carbs, fats, and protein. So 39% of everything I ate for this day came from carbohydrates, 39% from fat, 22% from protein. So I'm a little bit off in my splits. I need to increase my carbs just a little bit, and maybe do a little bit less butter to get my fats down. However, this is not a good indication of how close you are to your goals. So what I like to use is the nutrients tab. So you can select the nutrients tab up here at the top. So even though the macros pie chart shows you the percentages of the foods you're eating and how that translates to the macros, it's not showing you how close you are to your goals. So we're going to use the nutrition tab here to see our goals in grams of protein, carbs, and fat, and then we're going to look at our fiber. And so now you can see that I am still really far from my goals, which means that I still have lots more calories as well to consume. So this is where we're going to look to see how close we're getting to our goals. This is how we are going to work towards our goals, is by looking at this nutrition tab. So I want to show you a couple more things before we finish here with this app. If you go down to more, you can actually input recipes into MyFitnessPal from either the internet or just by creating your own recipe from something maybe you have at home. So if you click on create a recipe and you want to add something from the internet, from the web, you can either copy and paste the URL right into where it says recipe name or URL, or you can simply type in the name of the recipe that you are looking for, and it should come up. So here we go. I'm going to use this teriyaki chicken. It's going to ask if I want to import the recipe, so I click on that. Now, once you get to this point, you're going to have to make some adjustments. So we want to just delete the things that aren't necessarily part of the ingredient. So you want to just delete this stuff here. Oh, I went too far. Now, it says 1 tablespoon of canola oil. I'm going to change that to olive oil because I don't cook with canola. I like to cook with olive oil. And then just continue on here, deleting what is not necessary. Instead of soy sauce, I usually use coconut aminos, which is a non-soy. It's an alternative for soy sauce, a little bit healthier for you. And then I'm just going to put ginger here. Okay, so then we hit the arrow button here. It's going to match the ingredients. Now you want to make sure that it's just matching up correctly. So for instance, the ginger ale here, we are not looking for ginger ale, so we're going to search for an alternative here. We're just looking for fresh ginger. So we're going to grab this here. Okay, and then we need to change the serving size to 1/2 because that's what the recipe called for. All right, so everything else, we just need to look through it to make sure it makes sense and then continue. Now at this point, it's saved. You can either save it and it's in your app, or you can save it and actually log it. And that will go right into your food log for the day. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay. So now you can see if you're looking in your recipes, it's there. If you go back to your food log and you're wanting to add that recipe, look up here at the top, go under recipes, and then you'll see chicken asparagus teriyaki stir fry. And then anything else that you have imported will be there as well. Another tip for you is if you are using the meal plan that's provided for you in your 8-week program, the recipes that have been provided for you, I have already uploaded those into the MyFitnessPal app for you. So you simply need to put FWTFL Lauren, hit search, and then I need to continue adding them in, but you can see here that I've added the avocado egg boat from the meal plan and then also the Cobb salad. So you can just click on that and add it right into your diary for the day. So that makes everything super simple and easy for you. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So those are some tips on how to use the app. Again, we are just going to play around with it. We're going to practice logging your food. Understand that the goals that we have set are simply estimates. It's just a tool we are using to track our food, and it provides a starting place for your daily macronutrient targets. As we continue to go along, you're going to become familiar and more informed about how to best fuel your body. We want to work towards intuitive eating, but this is going to be a really good starting point for you and a place for you to really learn more about how you are fueling your body and how foods translate into those macronutrients. I do want you all to just understand that just because you set your goals to lose weight or a specific amount of weight per week doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to lose that specific amount, because with the Faster Way strategies, we are aiming to change your body composition, not necessarily your overall weight. So remember that this is a fat loss program, not a weight loss program. I also want to remind you that everyone's goals are going to look different. So I don't want you to compare yourself, your goals to anyone else's. You may see that you have a lot more in the way of grams of each macro than someone else, and that is okay. Everyone's goals are going to be different based on your specific needs. So I want to give you guys a few tips on when you are tracking your macros just to help you become more successful with it. I know that it probably seems a little bit overwhelming right now. Again, the more you use the app, the easier it will get, because it will remember everything that you have ever logged in your history, so it will get easier and easier as you go. Use the meal plan, use those recipes that I've already imported in there for you, just to make it even simpler on you. But it can definitely seem a little bit overwhelming in the beginning. I want you just to do your best. Just take this week to learn, practice. You have myself and the rest of this community to lean on. Reach out to me for tips and tricks and resources. I will help you get through this and help you continue to learn how to log and give you all of my best tips. But here are a couple tips to get you started. One thing that you can do is, when you look at your goals in grams of protein, carbs, and fats, you're going to see a large number. So for instance, you have 90 grams per se of protein that you have to hit for one specific day. That may seem like a lot, and when you are logging your food, you get to the end of the day and you still have a lot left in grams of protein. So in order to kind of break that down and take it, apart, maybe you are having 3 to 4 smaller meals or 3 meals a day, for instance. So take your goal in grams of protein, divide that in 3, and then that's going to give you smaller targets. That might help you to focus on those smaller targets at each meal. So, you want to have roughly 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, and that might make it a little bit easier to hit your total gram goal for the day of each macronutrient. The other thing to simply do is just focus on a well-balanced meal at each meal. So if you're thinking in terms of what you're going to have for your dinner, you want to make sure that there is a protein on your plate, there is a carb on your plate, and then likely you're going to have some vegetable there and fat. So grass-fed butter, like I showed you, or an oil. You cook your vegetables in that oil. That's going to help you to have a well-balanced meal. And so when you are logging that, you will obviously see that translates to a well-balanced meal when you're putting that into your MyFitnessPal app. And then the last thing and the most important thing is to, in the beginning especially, my number one tip is to log your food ahead of time whenever it's possible. If you can go in the night before or the morning of and pre-log your food for the day, that will help you to hit your targets a lot easier and better for the next day, because you can go in, you can plan it ahead of time, and that way you can manipulate it to hit your goals. If you wait until the very end of the day to log all of the food that you have eaten for the day, it's kind of too late to make adjustments. So whenever you log it ahead of time, you can make adjustments, you can add to, you can see that you need to change things up a little bit, or maybe you're not getting enough of a certain macronutrient, so you can add in snacks. So it's going to be a helpful way, especially in the beginning, to make sure that you're hitting those goals. And, also when you pre-log, you can plan for fun events. So if you know that you are going to go out to eat for lunch with your friends, and you know that is probably not going to be the healthiest meal, you can plan the rest of your day. Go ahead and pre-log it, or you can even go to that restaurant website and see what they've got and pre-plan your meals if you want to do it that way. So soon I'm going to start asking you all to see your nutrients tab, like I showed you earlier from MyFitnessPal, so that I can help you make adjustments. I can give you suggestions on ways to get closer to your goals, adjustments that you need to make in order to work on getting the right amounts of macros. I will provide recipes, suggestions, feedback, all of those things, so that you can master your goals for the day. So hopefully this helps you to kind of get a better understanding of how to use the MyFitnessPal app, the resources that are available within the app. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You just post those in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer those. Again, we are just practicing, learning, progress, not perfection, as always, and use this community as a resource, lean on each other, provide each other with support. If you find a recipe that is great and works really well, share that with the rest of your peers here. And as always, make sure that you are asking questions when you have them. So I hope you have a great rest of your day.